Today's the most important day of the year for me. We honor our veterans every day of the year, but this one is a special day because we're honoring Honor Flight as well, and all of the donations coming in today, all of the proceeds, all of the business that we do from 11 to 3 on a very busy day, all of the proceeds are donated to Honor Flight Maine. Honor Flight Maine is responsible for sending planefuls, 40, 42, 44 veterans at a time in their 90s, World War II predominantly, to Washington for 2 nights and 2 days to visit the memorials, to be able to see some of the people they've seen haven't seen in 70 plus years, and to be together in some instances one last time, to be able to show their reverence and for the country to show them how much we appreciate their sacrifices. And we've opened our doors to the veterans, and they're, as you can see by all these medallions on my chest, they come in and they talk with me, and I just love them, and hearing their stories and having as much empathy as I can in my capacity to be able to hear what they've been through and the sacrifices that they've made, and how wonderful it is to be able to be here to hear those stories and to carry them on, and to somehow, on some level, ensure that their legacy continues. It was actually a funny event. I was supposed to be on the grill. We were short-handed, and I came out and I zipped out to wipe a couple of tables. I was summoned over by Mr. Henry Breton, a petite little man who was just, I'd known him, and I know all of the veterans, but he said, "Have you ever heard of this?" Oh, and he handed me a pamphlet that said Honor Flight Maine. I said, tell me what it is. When I can talk to you, I gotta go back to the grill. Tell me what it is. Can we come back and meet? And then he came back with 3 other veterans, and Lori Seidlinger, who's the head of, spearheads everything about this event. And we sat down, and I got hooked immediately. That was January, February of this year. And then I jumped on board and heightened the awareness, have done a couple of meal-to-meals, have done a couple of functions, and have helped put Honor Flight in, like a big topic of discussion. I do have one certain person who had a birthday last week, and his name is Mr. Don Tuttle. And much to his chagrin, I'm going to be making a big fuss over him today. And he's responsible for some of these medals that, of course, he's risked his life to get. And he has bestowed on me, and it's really emotional for me to even talk about him, because he's my friend. He's a good man. He's been through a lot. And for him to respect me and to say at 92 years old, "I respect you," which doesn't happen very often with him, and I appreciate that.
I went in the service when I was 18, and I did all my training. I became a radio operator. I graduated from radio school, and when the crew was formed, we had 2 radio operators, so I didn't get, the other guy got it, which I was glad anyway. But I learned Morse code. I could take 28 words a minute in Morse code. And when I was in the hospital in Kentucky, I used to listen to these ship-to-shore calls, which were all in Morse code. And the other guys, they wasn't in on this, and I used to tell them what the ship was saying when they was calling shore, so that was beneficial.
Go to Honor Flight Maine. There's a Facebook page, there's a website, and there's a button to click to donate. Because these lovely people aren't getting any younger, and I'd like to be able to reach as many as possible, and the Red Barn is going to be instrumental in ensuring that those flights continue in April, June, July, and October of next year. And we're going to be a big part of it, because it's one of my many passions, but this one in particular is something I'm going to ensure happens, because time is imperative.